Alright, so after the Augusta and Yuno reveal, everyone is pretty hyped for these characters. And while I was watching their kit, I could not notice the very heavy theming that they had going on with them, and that was that Augusta was of the sun and Yuno was of the moon. However, this brought back to mind a tweet that I read not long ago that said something about that if 2.5 was to be shortened, then Augusta and Yuno's banner would be aligned with two eclipses going on in the month of September. Now, I thought, okay, I'm going to do some research into this today, actually. And guys, I think Kuro Games might have just cooked the most delicious 5 billion million IQ meal that I have actually ever seen. Because if this is true, if they intended to do this, then this might be the smartest thing that they have ever done. Now, I want to set the scene. Of course, 2.5 only has one new character, so they shortened it to around 34-35 days, which in itself seems good, right? We get a shorter patch for a patch with just less stuff in it. Now, what if I told you that this patch shortening means that Augusta's and Yuno's banner will be aligned with a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse? I know, absolutely mental. Augusta's banner will be aligned with a lunar eclipse and Yuno's banner will be aligned with a partial solar eclipse. Now, thanks to earthsky.org for this information. On September 7th, 2025, a total lunar eclipse of the full core moon will sweep across Antarctica, Australia, Asia, the Western Pacific Ocean, the Indian Ocean, Europe, the Eastern Atlantic Ocean, and Africa. So on September 7th, we will have Augusta's banner, because the patch is theorized to come out at around August 28th. So we will be about a week and a half into Augusta's banner by that point. And usually these banners last about 3 weeks. So if it goes from the 28th, and you add 3 weeks to it, you will get September 18th. And now check this out. Thanks to Times India, it says, the first upcoming solar eclipse on the list of NASA eclipse calendar is a partial solar eclipse and is expected on the 21st of September 2025. Viewers will mostly view this on the region surrounding Australia, Antarctic, some parts of the Pacific Ocean and Atlantic Ocean. The majority of Asia, Europe and America will not be able to see it, however. Now, this in itself seems too coincident enough, right? The fact that we have two sort of solar and lunar characters being aligned with an eclipse season is coincidence enough, right? However, if we go back to earthsky.org, they also reinforce that a partial solar eclipse will take place on September 21st. Guess how long it says an eclipse season is approximately? It says an eclipse season is approximately 35 days. Now, what did I say was 35 days? Patch 2.5. Guys, this is either the biggest reach in the world, or Kuro Games have actually just done an absolute crazy cook. Now, that part may be a bit of a reach, just because they have already shortened a patch, which was 2.2. They shortened it to around the same time to accommodate 2.3 and the anniversary and stuff like that. Also because they only had one new character in it, which was Cantarella. So they shortened it then as well. So this isn't the first time they've shortened a patch. So it's not like they've done this to support my theory. So maybe that part's a bit of a reach. But still, I might be valid. Of course, this video is not that serious. But at the end of the day, if this is not a coincidence and they actually plan this, then wow, the amount of detail that they put into the game is astonishing. Of course, the thing is, guys, we know eclipses. Like, we know when they're going to happen years in advance, because obviously it's not hard to predict the trajectory of stuff because we've got all this equipment and stuff like that. So the thing is, Kuro Games have had ample time to plan this. And if that's the case, then they would have made Augusta and Yuno, and then they would have made sure that their banners would align with the eclipses, making sure that each patch is the right length, just so that 2.5 can be shorter to 35 days, and that Augusta's and Yuno's banner would be on the inverted eclipse. I also want to comment on how poetic it is that they literally could have just put Yuno first, coincide with the lunar eclipse, and then Augusta second for the solar eclipse. However, I think they did it deliberately. I mean, Augusta is technically the more hyped unit, but in the lore, we can already see that these two are quite tied to each other. Of course, we have the F4 and the sort of like the divination priest. Both are part of this like high order of Septimon, and I think they rely on each other quite heavily. I mean, they do have some sort of chemistry already. We have seen them in 2.4, for example, in the first story. So I feel like in order to back up that synergy, they've actually reversed their banners. So that Augusta is on the lunar eclipse, and then Yuno is on the solar eclipse. Meaning that technically they are two peas in a pod, kind of thing. That they have synergy, basically. Which, again, is just... guys, am I like schizo right now, or do I genuinely have like something, like some sort of point here? Because it just seems too coincidental to like not be planned. Because we know Kuro Games is smart, right? We know that they actually put time and effort into this, so it's not like it's just a happy coincidence. We actually have genuine grounds to believe that this might actually be planned. Which, if it is planned, then guys, Kuro Games just wow. I mean, they will never confirm it. They will never, ever, ever confirm that this is planned. We can only theorize. But still, it's quite fun too. And I also mentioned this last video as well. What if you were to use Augusta's and Yuno's ults at the same time? Of course, you have the Sun Skybox that Augusta has, then you've got the Moon Skybox that Yuno has. I wonder if you were to use them both together, if you were to have a total solar eclipse, which would be very, very cool, and also, you know, another piece of tiny icing on the very small cake that is this theory. But it's a theory nonetheless, okay guys? It's a game theory. But anyways, thank you all so much for tuning into this very weird and light-hearted video. If you guys do think I have a point, then let me know in the comments. Or if you have anything else to add that I've somehow missed from this, like if you guys have any more information that might be useful to the video, please let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye for now. Also, guys, I just wanted to add this section in at the end. So if you guys have been enjoying my videos, then I do appreciate all the support. And if you haven't subscribed already, then please do. Now, this section is just to sort of say thank you to everyone that's been supporting the videos as of late. It's really, really been nice to see my channel sort of harbour this sort of new wuwa community. Because I feel like the wuwa space does not have enough dedicated content creators. And I'm trying to at least, you know, put out regular videos out there. Obviously, you know, I'll never be up there with the likes of like Tectone and Sane Tone Tests and stuff like that. But I at least want to try and be up there because I feel like this space needs more creators. And it just needs more creators with original ideas, which is why I'm making this video, because it's so stupid that it might just be, you know, like, it might just be a banger. But at the end of the day, I'm just really appreciative of all your guys' support, all you guys' comments, everything. It's really nice to interact with you all. So yes, thank you all so much for the support. And yes, if you watched all the way to the end of the video, then, well, thank you, I guess. I salute you. But yes, thank you all so much.